Hi, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking at background information for angle relationships, which you're going to find on the last page of your notes packet, not at the beginning. So turn to the last page, and we're going to look at the front of the last page, and you'll see background information for angle relationships. So the first thing that I want you to write down is that angles in a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. Okay, now we've got different types of triangles. We've got triangles that can be classified by their sides and triangles that can be classified by their angles. So triangles that are classified by their sides, the first type of triangle is an equilateral triangle. And what an equilateral triangle is just a triangle with three congruent, this symbol right here means congruent, sides. So we'll put a little note in the corner that this symbol right here means congruent, and congruent means equal. Okay, so if we have an equilateral triangle, this is what it will end up looking like right here. So we'll have our triangle like this, and we know that all of our sides are going to be the same, so we put little slashes on the lines to indicate that the triangle is equilateral. Okay, we can also have an isosceles triangle, and an isosceles triangle is a triangle with two congruent sides. Okay, so what we'll have here is a triangle that will end up looking more like this right here. Okay, so our two congruent sides right here is this side and this side. So those are our congruent sides, and then these pieces down here are called our base angles. So right here, we'll call this triangle ABC. Okay, and since this is angle A, the side across from it will be lowercase a. Since this is angle B, the side across from it will be lowercase b. And since this is angle C, the side across from it will be lowercase c. And we can say that side A is equal to side C. And we can also say that angle A is congruent to angle B. By the way, in an equilateral triangle, all the angles are also congruent as well. Okay, the last type of triangle that we have is called a scalene triangle, and in a scalene triangle, no sides are congruent. Okay, so I'll just draw a random triangle right here. Here's an example of a scalene triangle because none of my sides are congruent. All right, excellent. We can also classify our triangles by angles. So the first type of triangle by angle is called an acute triangle. And an acute triangle, it has we'll write acute triangle. It has three angles, and three angles that are each less than 90 degrees. Okay, so for example, I could have a triangle that looks like this. This is 40, this could be 60, and this could be 80. It adds up to 180 degrees, and each angle is less than 90. Okay, the next type of triangle that we could have is a right triangle, and in a right triangle, we have one right angle, but a right angle is just simply 90 degrees, and we indicate that the triangle is right by having a right angle box in the corner right here. Okay, so this right here is our example of our right triangle. And then lastly, we also have obtuse triangles. And in an obtuse triangle, we have one angle between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So a picture of an obtuse triangle would look something like this, where we have our acute angle, and then we just connect the sides right here, and this is our acute angle. So we'll put A, B, C here, and we'll call angle A obtuse. Okay, and I'm sorry, I might have said that this was acute, but I meant to say that it was obtuse. And then here, same thing, triangle ABC, angle A is right. Okay, all right, types of quadrilaterals. A quadrilateral is a shape with four sides. So one type of quadrilateral is a parallelogram. And in a parallelogram, we have two pairs of parallel sides. So the way that we show that the sides are parallel is we put arrows right here to show that these guys are parallel, and then we'll put double arrows to show that these are parallel to each other but not parallel to these sides right here. We also have opposite sides are congruent, and we also have that opposite angles are going to be congruent to each other. Okay, so that's a parallelogram. The next type of quadrilateral we'll talk about is a rectangle. And a rectangle is like a parallelogram. So it has all the properties of a parallelogram, but it has right angles. So a rectangle still will have opposite sides parallel to each other, opposite sides congruent to each other, but now we have 4 right angles in our rectangle as well. Okay. The next one is a rhombus, and in a rhombus, it is a parallelogram, no right angles this time. So it's a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides. Okay, so our rhombus right here, again, we'll still have opposite sides will be parallel. Opposite sides will be congruent. But this time, in fact, actually all the sides will be congruent. So we'll say that this side is congruent to this side, is congruent to this side, is congruent to this side. Okay? And then the last in this column is a square. And a square is pretty much a rectangle and a rhombus put together. It's like the hybrid of a rectangle and a rhombus. So pretty much all it is a parallelogram with 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. Okay, so our square right here will end up looking like this, where we know that the opposite sides are still parallel, all the sides are congruent, and we have 4 right angles. Okay? All right. Now, on the other side right here, we're going to, if you notice, all of these are examples of parallelograms. So that's why I have it on this side. On this side over here, the first type of quadrilateral I want to talk about is a trapezoid. Now, a trapezoid has one set of parallel sides, while a parallelogram has 2 sets of parallel sides and congruent sides. And in a trapezoid, the sides do not have to be congruent to each other. So here's an example of a trapezoid that we could have right here, where this side is, an example of a trapezoid that we have here, where this side is parallel to this side. Okay, now we could also have, there's a specific type of trapezoid called an isosceles trapezoid. And in an isosceles trapezoid, we still have 2 parallel sides right here. So this side is still parallel to this side, but we have 2 congruent legs. So this is called a leg, and this is called a leg, and the legs are congruent. Okay, this is a lot of information that you need to know for this unit. Okay, and then the last type of figure that I want to talk to you guys about is a kite. And we'll talk about kites more in detail later on, but the most important thing is that this side is going to be congruent to this side is going to be congruent to that side. Okay? The next thing I want to do is define what a polygon is. So a polygon is just simply a plane figure, and by plane I mean P-L-A-N-E. It means it's on a plane, which is a flat surface. So it's a plane figure, or shape pretty much, with at least 3 sides. Okay? If you have only 2 sides, then it's not a figure because it needs to be closed. Okay? So actually, let's indicate also that it's a closed plane figure. Okay, so we're just going to talk about the types of polygons that exist. So if there are 3 sides to our polygon, the name of our polygon is a triangle. If there are 4 sides to our polygon, the name of our polygon is a quadrilateral. Okay, if there are 5 sides in our polygon, then it's called a pentagon. If there are 6 sides to our polygon, then it's called a hexagon. Now, here's what I need you to do. I want you to find out, look up the names for a 7-sided polygon, an 8-sided polygon, a 9-sided polygon, a 10-sided polygon, 11-sided, 12, and then a polygon with n number of sides. And see if you can figure out what the names of these are. So just do a quick Google search and fill in the rest of the information, and I will check to see that you have it done next time I see you guys in class. All right, that's it. Have a great day.